So I started this morning just talking a little bit about where we came from, what we're doing, and a little bit of just history on myself and part of our team. I had a technology company in healthcare for about 20 years called MD Online. Sold that to Bain Capital Summit Partners a couple years ago, and was looking for another old, antiquated industry to get into. And we found title insurance. Because, as some of you may know, the way that this works still today, which is mind-boggling to me, is that you still have people going down into the basements of county clerk's offices, looking through files, looking at the searches for liens, et cetera. And we just saw that there was an opportunity to change it. So the first thing we did is went and got our title licenses. And started a title agency, and then bought a title agency, then bought 3 more of them. All 4 of them were running the same title platform. So this was called AccuTitle. Then that was 2019, so the calendar here was pretty quick. In 2019, we bought the one company in April, then in July we bought another company in New York. So this is all about title software. So it's the closing process in getting to a successful transaction in real estate. So this is where all the information is gathered. And so we bought those 2 companies. We sold our title agency part and went back into the software business. Since then, we've acquired 2 more, and then we just acquired a 3rd. So of the percentage of closings that take place in the U.S., we're about 18%. So we're over 1 million closings a year at this point. And this has all been done in the past 24 months. But it wasn't solving the problems of what's going on. Part of it was that some of the systems that we acquired and the technologies were just so outdated, and very, very manual process, involving manual processes. So what we did was we started to see what we can do to make sure that this is more streamlined. So we have 5 companies, and each one of those companies is communicating with a layer that we call Pando. So what this does is it allows everyone to go into this, and we have the connections, direct connections with the underwriters. So now there's communication that started going back and forth between the underwriters, search companies. I think we have about 200 vendors that now we're putting that technology in play to go do this. We mentioned Ron, remote closings too. They're coming, and sorry about that. So here's who we're connected to. This is the underwriters, the lien companies, and these integrations are really what allows everyone to get to a closing table faster and with more accurate information. We're also going through client portals. My Title Vault is something that we came up with. So I know that everybody in the room that's doing real estate is involved in real estate. When you have a closing and if you bought a home, to go find your title insurance documents, your loan documents, everything that was in that closing packet is still a very manual process. So there's a lot of paperwork that's going through. This eliminates that. So for the first time, you're going to be able to go online and get all your closing documents in one location. So for the builders here, if you have multiple properties, you'll be able to go in and see all the documents that were related to the closings of that property or any property that you're doing if your title agency is on our platforms. So we're also discussing to open that up to outside of it. But this brings everybody into it. So you're buying the buyers, the sellers, the lawyers, the realtors, all into the closing process so that everybody knows what's going on at all times. This is a big one. The amount of fraud that's taking place in real estate closings is just astronomical, and a lot of people still think it's okay to be using email, and email is just not secure. So this portal also is a secure environment. Again, we took what we did and what we learned in the past and applied a lot of that technology that we had over on the healthcare side over into this and a lot of the securities to make sure that we have a complete lockdown system and only let the right people in. So, like I said, in the My Title Vault, you'll have all of the closing documents that were involved in that particular closing. And then I just want to talk a little bit too about the way that we did this company, because I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the room, and I think it's pretty neat the way that we did this one too. So we bought all these companies, brought 5 companies together, brought 5 CEOs together, and one of the first things that I always do is I make everybody in the company an owner. So our last company, we had over 350 people. Everybody became an owner in the company. These companies, we started with really, the first company we had, I think, 8 or 9 employees. We're up to about 100 in 2 years, and made sure that right after the closing, everybody becomes an owner. So there's a different mindset to people, a big change in mindset, because some of these people have been with these companies for 30 years that we acquired, and now they're owners. So there's a big responsibility that everybody in the company takes very seriously to make sure that we're always doing the right thing, listening to the customers, and doing the right thing with our own teammates. So I can close with that. Does anybody have any questions? Sure.
Talking about email and it not being secure, fraud happening, when you first had a contract going over to the title company, before your thing is set up, you have the technology to send it over securely, or are you still taking email?
It depends on the title agency. Excuse me. It depends on the title agency. Some are still doing emails, and then they're doing confirmation phone calls to follow it up. This is all here that they can do this now, but not everybody's using it. And that's where the technology is really coming into. This is what we're doing. This is the whole purpose of what we did by acquiring these big companies. I mean, the whole intention of what we're doing is to improve the process. We did that in our last company on the healthcare side. We're doing it over here to make sure that we're bringing the right tools to everyone to simplify processes. But email is not secure at all for this.
Because in my experience, everything is email until it's executed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before that time, it's all about
Right. This is, I mean, the big parts here are wire and fraud. So giving and taking wiring information is just the biggest no-no that's out there. They shouldn't be doing that at all.
And then I had another question on the settlement, the HUD statement,
Mhm.
and that's always one of the biggest challenges is getting that information for review. Do you have that in your platform ready to go?
That's all part of it. That's in there. So the HUD is in there for the preparation of the closing. The information is what the title agencies and the lawyers and everyone's putting into it to create that final HUD. And it always is. It's always a race to the finish, every deal, because everybody has to get that information, most current information, tax information.
But I would be able to log into my account with that platform and be able to see the information.
You would be able to see the before the buyer sees it. I would say no to it, only because the information has to be confirmed that it's completely accurate before it's going to the buyer. You would do that, yes. But the sharing of that document wouldn't be until you're getting to the closing table.
At the last minute.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the process. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But this is just, it's speeding up the process. So all the bank information, all the loan information, all of that, the banks are working super hard. We're working hard at getting this integration so that the documents can be signed remotely and trusted. And that's where the remote online notarization comes into play, and the videoing of the people at the closing table. So you don't have to be running around doing closings. And this is going to be a couple of years away. The adoption is very ridiculously slow. But the awareness is here, and it's our job to go and just educate people on it. Any other questions?
So first, I'd like to say I've had the pleasure of a closing with your software. I now realize I have a business where I also flip, so it's a regular thing for me. And
Great.
oh my God.
And thank you.
What a glorious gift you have given us. So thank you for that. But my question is, have you thought about expanding this into the world throughout more arms of the home industry? For me specifically, as a builder, we're doing more and more smart homes, and they're becoming more integrated, and we're focusing more on making sure that we've got really strong security around that. So one of my major concerns is sharing home designs over email, because that basically gives someone the roadmap to someone's home. And then I'm in DC, so I work with a lot of people with very high-level top clearances, and there's a lot of security concerns around the information that we're sharing should it land in the wrong hands. I feel like you would be a great platform to solve that concern.
No. Maybe on the next one, but not in what we're doing here. It would be too far out of what the core products are doing. But I like it for the next deal.
If you could pick that up on the next one, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for your business too. Anyone else?
You had mentioned that you have people that work in your title company and that these people become owners in the company. Could you elaborate on how your business operations allow that or facilitate that?
Sure. We do it in the form of options. So everyone, when they're coming in as part of the deals, each one of the deals that we did, each deal, the owners of the companies that we acquired, they understood what we were doing in the roll-up strategy. And they also understood that their people would be getting options in the company. And it's really for a recapitalization or an exit at some point in the distant future. The last company I had was 19 years with MD Online before we did that. But we had recaps in the middle there. And that's the opportunity for people to take some chips off the table. Anything else? All right, well, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.